have that restitution made. Kia ora.
Honourable Chris Finlayson.
Mr Speaker, I want to acknowledge the Ngati Whatua o Kaipara representatives in the gallery. I'm told that we can expect a much larger contingent when the third reading is debated, but it's great to have them here. I really, on behalf of the Crown, enjoyed negotiating with Ngati Whatua o Kaipara. We signed the agreement in principle, as I recall, at the very end of 2010. It was almost what could be called a rocket docket negotiation because we really cut to the chase. And then the deed was signed on the shores of the Great Kaipara a year or so later, and now we've reached the legislative stage. And I'm so very pleased that we're at this stage and very much look forward to the third reading in June. I also want to acknowledge the Maori Affairs Select Committee. It travelled to South Kaipara to hear public submissions, and the strong support of members of Ngati Whatua o Kaipara for the settlement was evident in the submissions and at the hearing. And I also want to say that very useful and helpful submissions were received from the Auckland Council and also Te Kaurawa Maki and iwi who have shared interests with Ngati Whatua o Kaipara. The Auckland Council and the Rodney Local Board are a very important part of the post-settlement future for Ngati Whatua o Kaipara. One of the features of this settlement is a joint management body between the Auckland Council and Ngati Whatua o Kaipara to manage the Parakai Recreation Reserve, and I really do want to thank the members of the Rodney District Council who originally considered this proposal. I particularly want to congratulate and thank the work of the Maori Affairs Select Committee. The bill had its first reading on 19 September 2012 and the committee reported it back to Parliament on 12 December, 1 week shy of 3 months, which is very impressive, but when one thinks about it, not all that surprising given the dedication and the skill of the chair and the hard work that members of the committee have shown on previous settlement bills. And their reward, I have to say, is going to be a lot more work, hopefully in June, when there will be, and Mr Tirakatni and I know this, where we've got the final signing at the top of the South Island in Takaka on Saturday, and then a 600-page bill will be introduced to the House incorporating 9 settlements, and that'll be great. But today is Ngati Whatua o Kaipara's day, and I don't want to detract from that, but simply to say to Mr Horomere and the other members of the Maori Affairs Select Committee team that more work's on its way. The committee recommended amendments to the bill that clarify the intent of the deed of settlement, especially with respect to properties at Commercial Road and Rata Street. These properties are part of the historic 10-acre block that Ngati Whatua o Kaipara gifted to the Crown. Parts of this block were transferred from the Crown to previous councils despite protests from Ngati Whatua o Kaipara, and the settlement will enable several properties that were retained in Crown ownership since that time to be returned. So, Mr Speaker, that's all I want to say at this stage. It's a good settlement. I congratulate the negotiators and thank them for their hard work because in the scheme of things it has been a very speedy negotiation. Once again, I reiterate my thanks to the Select Committee and its chair for the good work they did, and I very much look forward to the third reading.
Tracy Martin.
Kia ora. Tēnā koutou katoa. Ko